Let's shift gears to the Auburn Tigers. A lot of really good notes from the good folks at Auburn Live. Justin Hokanson covering that better than anybody else in the industry. They've got some scrimmages underway. They've had 2 now. I'm going to talk about the quarterback room in just a second. But the transfers they brought in are making a whole lot of noise. Justin Rogers, transfer, I believe, is from Kentucky. Hugh Freeze is fired up about him. They are raving about him over at Auburn. Hugh Freeze went so far to say in a press conference that he believes he's going to demand a double team, which in the SEC, same thing I was saying about T'Vondre Sweat at Texas, same thing is true at Auburn. You need to be able to play in the trenches. And last year, just quite frankly, it was not good enough. They were not tough enough in that category. Justin Rogers is going to kind of help bolster their efforts there and turn that ship around. Now, on the other side of the line of scrimmage, they brought in not 1, not 2, but 3 offensive linemen. I'm hearing they're all going to start. 3 new cats on the offensive line, just totally revamped that whole unit in terms of talent. So if you can run the football and you can protect the quarterback, that's going to obviously give you at least a good jumping off point. Because in the SEC, you look across the line of scrimmage, you got some dogs across from you. All right, you got to block a Harold Perkins week in and week out. You got to block a Dallas Turner week in and week out. So to be able to have just a better threshold to start with from a talent perspective on the offensive line and to have positive ROI so far, it's really good. Okay, so I'm not saying the offensive line is going to be all class, all world, but I am saying it's better than it was a season ago, which is progress. In year 1 under Hugh Freeze, that's progress. Now, Rivaldo Fairweather is a tight end transfer from FIU, and they are saying he has professional potential. It's about 6'4", 250 pounds. They're saying he's just running by everybody, which whoever plays quarterback, what has been a theme throughout the last couple of years at Auburn? Who's going to be the playmaker on the outside? Who's catching the football here? Camden Brown is a guy that fits the mold in terms of what you would want a wide receiver to look like. I mean, big, physical, 6'2", 6'3", can run. But Rivaldo Fairweather at tight end is going to be an option for them. Okay, so keep an eye on how he progresses in this new scheme. But they're very excited about him so far through spring camp. Also worth noting, like I said, Camden Brown, they're excited about him. Caught a touchdown pass in the scrimmage. Now, moving to the running back room, it's no secret, man, Jarquez Hunter is going to be the guy, right? Like, he's your workhorse running back. But in the SEC, it's difficult to have one running back go wire to wire and be completely healthy. Now, of course, we hope Jarquez Hunter is able to stay healthy, but having some depth in that room is going to be very important. And they're very encouraged about Damari Alston. I mean, I was talking to Justin Hokanson, and he told me, he's like, I believe that Damari Alston can do everything that you're asking Jarquez Hunter to do offensively. So if you have Jarquez Hunter needs to get a breath after he's broke off a long run, you don't need to change your offensive scheme and say, Damari Alston's in the game. We can't call that, coach. Hey, coach, we got to change the approach here offensively. You can stay the same offensively, regardless of which running back is in there. Again, Jarquez Hunter is your runner, is your workhorse. He's going to be a guy. But Damari Alston, they don't feel like there's a tremendous drop-off with what they can do offensively when he comes into the game. Sturdy lower body, runs hard, gets downhill. It's a good thing. You got to be physical in the SEC. In the trenches, yes, but also at the running back position, in pass pro, getting downhill, running power, running inside zone. You need to be able to do that in the SEC, to have a physical edge about you, okay? And that's what Auburn is continuing to try and progress to do. Again, make sure you're subscribed to the On3 YouTube channel. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Make sure you're following me on Instagram. Okay, so here's what everybody wants to know about. What's going on in the quarterback room? Right? What's the temperature of the quarterback room? To be real, y'all, it's still too soon to tell. Okay, a couple of scrimmages under the belt. We still don't have a tremendous feel on this. For those that are just now tuning in, Holden Garner, TJ Finley, Robbie Ashford. The 3 dudes that are probably competing for that QB1 spot. Robbie Ashford was dinged up last year, looked really good at times, really good athlete, also looked really lackluster at times. I believe he was like 7 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. I think he also had somewhere around 7 touchdowns rushing. So a whole lot of 7s for Robbie Ashford. There's still very much so a ways to go, is what it sounds like. Hugh Freeze at the press conference said, I wish we were further along at the quarterback position. Listen, I'm going to translate that coach speak for you. That just means we're not where we need to be yet. Now, the good news is it's spring football. You're not going to be where you need to be to play game 1. You don't have to play your schedule just yet. You know, we're not in the fall yet. what's going on right now to try and get a gauge for that quarterback room is you're still trying to install your offense. And so you're trying to, one, teach your entire unit what to do, while at the same time trying to figure out from a personnel standpoint what you can do. So it's kind of a two-sided coin there. And they're progressing slowly. Again, the receiver position is still a little bit of a question mark. Camden Brown's a guy they're excited about. They brought in some transfers, but there's not a whole lot of proven commodities in that room. So that paired with some question marks at the quarterback position is just a little bit fuzzy right now. It's probably the best way I could say it. It's a little bit fuzzy right now when it comes to Auburn football. Now, I wholeheartedly believe they will go into the portal and try and get somebody to, at worst, at depth, at best, compete for that QB1 spot. And the way that it's sounding, again, this is just my own feel on it, the way that it's sounding according to Hugh Freeze saying, I wish we were further along and you're about halfway through spring football, that makes me feel more and more like they don't yet have their answer for QB1. Now, it might be in the room, but it also doesn't sound like they're against going in the portal and getting somebody to compete for that QB1 spot, is the temperature. Hey, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.